Hello, crocheters! Welcome everyone to Mary Tejidos. I'm Mary, and it's a pleasure for me to share with you a new tutorial for today's masterclass. I have prepared the detailed step-by-step of a beautiful, lovely pattern that takes me back to the beginning, when I started this wonderful craft. Because it was one of the patterns I made the most, the one I sold the most, it's one of those patterns that never go out of style. Let me introduce you to this beautiful bucket bag made with the centered stitch, which is the easiest crochet stitch and gives a beautiful finish. But that's not all. I'm also going to teach you how to make a perfectly even circle for the base. Look at this completely round circle. I'll be explaining all the details you need to know so your circle turns out just like this one. Remember that on this channel, we don't hold anything back. We explain every detail of the process step by step. I invite you to stay with me until the end of the class, enjoy the process, and put it into practice. If that's the case, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment as a sign of appreciation. Don't forget to also share this content on all your social media, so that our community keeps growing and we can reach people with therapeutic and emotional needs. Remember that with crochet, the world is better. Let's move on to the list of materials, followed by the step-by-step instructions. These are the materials we'll be working with in today's class. And you can get the hardware and accessories at your online store, your supplies. In the video description, I'll leave you the link to their shopping page. Measuring tape, scissors, 2 rings, a 3 cm diameter carabiner, 2 rings, a 2 cm carabiner, 1 heart-shaped carabiner, 2 end caps. 6 mm crochet hook. This will be our main needle. 3.5 mm crochet hook, we'll use it to hide yarn ends. 60 centimeters of chain that I have divided in 2. This one is 16 by 12 millimeters. It's a fairly strong aluminum chain. I'm going to work with extra stretchy feather t-shirt yarn. This is recycled t-shirt yarn from Polos and Sumos. It has a strand that's 3.5 centimeters wide. Look, it's a t-shirt yarn that stretches a lot and is very soft when you crochet with it. Here, I'm going to use a 1 kilogram skein, but we won't use all of it. In the video description, I'll leave the exact amount of material we'll be using for this project. I'll also leave the link to their shopping page there for those who are interested in getting this material. We're going to start by working on the base of the bag, but for those who are new, the first thing you should do before starting any project is to do a quick hook size test. If you still don't know what type of hook you should choose for the thickness of the material you have on hand, then you're going to take your hooks and do this quick little test. But it's very effective. You're going to take the hook with the tip facing up, place the t-shirt yarn on top, and without pulling the strand too much, you're going to do this test. See here how the tip of the hook sticks out from the t-shirt yarn? See how it doesn't cover all the yarn? That means this hook is suitable for this material. Unlike the number 5 hook, see how this one is smaller. If I place it in the t-shirt yarn and do the same test, see how the yarn covers the whole tip of the hook. What does this mean? That my stitches will be very tight, too tight, and it will be very uncomfortable to work with this type of hook for this thickness of t-shirt yarn. So before you start, you should try out different hooks to see which one works best with the t-shirt yarn you're going to use. In this case, we're going to use a number 6 hook. So what are we going to do? We're going to make a magic circle. You're going to take the yarn and wrap it around your fingers like this. You're going to hold the yarn with your pinky finger here and take the hook with the tip facing down. See how the 2 strands form a little cross here? Adjust it right at the cross. Take the hook, go under the first strand, and pick up the second one. Move it back and twist here. Notice the small loop on the hook. You're going to take the second strand again, passing it underneath. See, now it has 2 little loops. What are you going to do here? You're going to pull the first loop through the loop you already had, like this. And here we have the first stitch. We're going to place a marker in this one, and later I'll show you why we've marked the stitch. Look, we've passed it right here in the center. We mark here, here. Now we're going to work inside the circle. 7 single crochets. We insert the hook into the circle. We yarn over. We lift it to the height of the small loop on the hook. Now we have 2 small loops. We yarn over again, and we're going to pull through both. Here we've made our first complete single crochet. Now we insert the hook again into the circle. We yarn over and pull up a loop. We yarn over again and pull through both loops. Here we have the second stitch. We repeat the process. And we continue like this until we complete all 7 stitches. I finished all 7 stitches here. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Notice that here we are counting the full chains. Since this first stitch still doesn't have its chain, it doesn't count as a full stitch. So we're counting the ones that have the base and the little loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. In total, we're going to have 8 stitches. And stitch number 8 would be this one, which is completed when we close the circle. So what are we going to do here? We're going to pull the short yarn tail. And we're going to start closing the circle like this. And look at how it's turning out. Let's adjust it a little bit. And here we're going to close this round, bringing this loop up to the right height. And passing the needle underneath of the first full chain stitch. It's this one right here, not where the marker is, but in the stitch that's next to it, where the full stitch is. We have the base of the stitch and the top of the stitch. We go underneath, from back to front. Place the reserved loop on the hook. And we move it to the back. We tighten it here very well. We open it. And here we have finished the first round. With a total of 8 stitches, check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Look, stitch number 8 was formed when we closed the round. So now, let's start round number 2. And we're going to start this one now with centered single crochet stitches. What does this mean? We'll insert the hook in the middle of the stitch. That we made in the previous round. I mean, in this one. Look here, you can see the 2 strands. We'll insert the hook into the center of that stitch. Starting here, where the marker is. That's why we placed the marker, so you would know at which stitch you should start. So here where the marker is. We open it a little. And look here where you can see the 2 strands, 1 and 2. We insert the hook between those 2 strands. We turn it over here on the back side. This process is always quite tight because it's the first round. Look here, we come out between the 2 strands, under the aluminum. With this, we make sure that the stitch really goes through the center. We pass the hook between those 2 strands here on the front side. And we make sure it comes out in the back, between the 2 strands, under the aluminum. Here we're going to tighten the loop we set aside nice and snug. We ensure it's tightened securely. The strand is very small. There, we hold it with this finger so it doesn't slip away. And we take a new strand. We bring it forward here. Pull up the loop a little, and we place the loop we set aside on the hook. Like this. We adjust the stitch here very well. And look, that's how it should look. We have 2 loops on the hook. We yarn over and pull through both. Now we can remove the marker. So, in this second round, we're going to work a sequence of increases. From now on, we'll be working increases, which means that we're going to be making 2 stitches in the same stitch. In this case, right here where we made the first stitch, we need to insert the hook again and complete the second stitch. We pass it through that same space. It's pretty tight, but it can be done. We pass the hook through very carefully. Let's make sure it comes out between the 2 strands, under the bump. And we yarn over. We raise it to the level of the loop on the hook. Look, we have 2. We yarn over and complete the stitch. Here, we already have 2 stitches in the same stitch. That means it's the first increase. We go into the center of the next stitch. Which is the next stitch? The one that's under the chain. Here, here, here. Look, right here where it is. Here is the stitch, the chain, and underneath are the 2 loops. We go through the center, making sure it comes out at the back. We go through the center. We yarn over. We always raise it to the level of the loop on the hook to make sure all the stitches are the same size. We yarn over and close. We insert the hook again into that stitch. Remember, we're working an increase. It's quite hard. We pull up a loop and close it. And here we have 2 increases. We move on to the next one in the center of the stitch. Make sure it comes out at the back, between the 2 strands. Here. Yarn over. I pull up a loop and close it. Go through again. Pull up a loop and complete the second stitch. This is the process we'll work on in this second round. We are going to make an increase in this stitch, in this stitch, in this stitch, and finish in this stitch. I finished the increases on this side. We are going to do the last one here. Look, here is the last chain, and underneath are the 2 strands. We go through the middle, making sure it comes out here. Look where you can see the 2 strands, under the bump. We yarn over. We pull up a loop here and complete the stitch. We pass the hook through again. We yarn over. We pull up a loop and complete the stitch. I finished the last increase here. Let's make the join. We pull up this loop. And we pass the hook under the first full chain stitch. This chain stitch will always be above the second stitch. The first stitch is this one, and it's not complete yet, because it gets completed when we make the join. So keep that in mind, so that you make the join in the correct stitch. Because sometimes you're doing it in this first chain, and the circle always tends to get deformed because you're making the join in the wrong stitch. So keep in mind that the join is always made in the second stitch, which is actually the first chain, the one we go under, from back to front, and we place the reserved loop on the hook, and we move it to the back. Look right here! We've already completed the first stitch. Here is the top loop, and underneath is the body of that stitch. So with this, we finish round number 2, and here we have a total of 16 stitches. We worked 8 increases, check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Here, at the end of this round, we can notice that the circle has started to open up. This is normal as we keep working. What we need to do is start closing the round, or the circle, with the short yarn tail. And we pull it tight. and it will start to close. When we are finishing the circle, it will be the desired size. We tighten this strand very well, and then we hide it. In the meantime, we're going to leave it like this. Now, we're going to start round number 3. We continue working with the center single crochet stitch. In fact, the whole bag will be made with the center single crochet stitch. We work into the strand that we brought to the back, where we made the join. We go underneath. And look, right here. We have the center of the stitch. Look here where you can see it. We go through the middle of those 2 strands. Make sure it comes out the back, under the little bump. In the middle of the 2 strands. You place it here, the reserved loop. See, you can open it, placing the reserved loop on the hook. Or you can do it like we did in the previous round. You adjust here very well. There we'll do the short Y, and yarn over. You go through all of them, and here you place the reserved little loop on the hook. Look, you still have both left. Yarn over. You go through both of them. Here we have the first stitch of the 3rd round. In this round, we're going to work a sequence of 1 single stitch. Increase stitch, single stitch, increase stitch. Here we'll make a stitch, which is a single stitch, and an increase is 2 stitches in the same stitch. So now we have the first stitch. We go under the chain in the center of the stitch, and we make an increase. 1. We go through again. And 2. 4. We keep going and make an increase. 5. And just 1 stitch. In the next increase stitch, 2 stitches. 1. And 2 in the next single stitch. A single stitch. And here, an increase 1. Always at the same height, level with the loop on the hook. 2. Here, we continue the sequence. Single, increase, single, increase, single, increase. We keep working the sequence until we reach the last stitch. I finished the stitches. Now let's do the last one here. I want you to please pay close attention to the process so you don't miss a stitch or have an extra one. We start with a single stitch and then continue with an increase stitch, 2 stitches in 1 stitch. Repeat single stitch, increase stitch, single stitch, increase stitch all along the edge of the piece until you reach the last stitch. Here we are going to make an increase because the previous stitch is a single stitch and the first stitch is also a single stitch. So, to close the sequence, we make an increase here. We go through the center of the stitch. We yarn over, bring it up to the edge that's on the hook, yarn over again and close the stitch, then go through the center of that stitch again. And here we complete the increase. We finish the round, bring it up, and insert the hook under the first chain. Look, it's this one that's located on the second stitch. We place the reserved loop on the hook and move it to the back, then tighten it. And here we have finished round number 3. We worked a total of 24 stitches here. Please check. Now we're going to start round number 4. And here we will do a sequence of 1 increase stitch, 2 single stitches. How do you work the circle? What is the method for working the circle? That is, make an increase on top of a single crochet. You can't work an increase on top of another increase. Because as it gets bigger, the circle will no longer be completely round, but will start to take on a hexagonal shape. I'll try to show you an image here. So, the idea is to have a perfect circle. It's about playing with the increases in such a way that they don't end up on top of the previous increased stitches, but rather on top of a single stitch. So here the sequence will go like this. Here, where we closed, we're going to start with an increase, which is where the single stitch is. Where the increase from the previous round is, we're going to make 2 single stitches. And where the single stitch is, we'll make the increase. So we open right there where we brought the yarn to the back, we go through the center, and right there. We tighten it here like this. Make sure this yarn is nice and tight. We pick up the new yarn. We pull up a loop and place the reserved loop on the hook. There! We pick up the new yarn. And we pull through both. Here we have the first stitch. We go through the center again. We yarn over. We pull up a loop and make the second stitch here, completing the first increase. And here, where the 2 stitches are, we make 2 single stitches. We go through the center, and we make a center single crochet in the center of the next stitch. And we make a center single crochet. Here, where the single crochet stitch is, we will make an increase. 1. We go through again. 2. Where the increase from the previous round is, we will make a center single crochet, then another center single crochet. In the single crochet stitch, make an increase. This is the whole process that we are going to continue working on. I don't finish the whole round because the tutorial would get too long. So the idea is that you clearly understand how to start and continue the sequence. I've reached the last 2 chains. Here we'll do a single crochet, then another single crochet. Notice that in the previous stitch we made an increase. And in the first one, we also worked increases. So with these 2 stitches, we properly close the sequence. We go through the center of the first stitch. We give it height. We close it. We make a centered stitch. And the fourth one, let's go. Centered stitch. We add height to this loop and finish the round. We finished the 4th round here with a total of 32 stitches. Please check. Whenever you finish a round, make sure to arrange the stitches nicely so the base starts to take shape. The circle looks completely round here on the back side. We're going to start round number 5, and here we'll work a sequence of 3 single stitches. 1 increased stitch. 3 single stitches, 1 increased stitch. Notice that we're going to make the increase on top of a single stitch from the previous round. So here we position ourselves under the strand that we brought to the back. We open the stitch here. Notice that it's the same way we've opened the previous rounds. We tighten the strand here. Make sure it's nice and tight. We yarn over. And we bring it forward. We pull up the loop a little. We place the reserved loop on the hook. We yarn over. We take and we close. Here we have the first stitch. We go through the center of the next stitch. We pull up a loop and make a center stitch. We have 2. We go through the center of the next one. We have 3 stitches here. We continue to the next one with an increase. We go through the center. We make a stitch. We go through the center of that stitch again. and we complete the increase. We have 3 single crochets, 1 increase. Now we make 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. In the next one, we make an increase. 1 and 2. This is the sequence we're going to work on in round 5. We continue with 3 single crochets. We make the increase. 3 single crochets. We make the increase. We continue on this side of the sequence until we get here to the last 3 stitches. We're going to make the last stitches. Here we'll make 3 single crochets, and in the last one, an increase. 1, 2, 3. We make an increase here. Look, we start with single stitches. And on this side, we make single stitches. We work the increase to complete the sequence. We bring this little loop up, and we're going to close the round. We finished round number 5 with a total of 40 stitches. Please check. Now we're going to work on round number 6. And in this round, we have a sequence of 4 single stitches, 1 increase stitch, 4 single stitches, 1 increase stitch. But in this one, we're going to change things up a bit. We're going to make a small change. And this will only be at the beginning. And it will be completed at the end. How is this going to work? Since those 4 single stitches make an even number, if I work all 4 single stitches here, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. The increase, which is stitch number 5, it stays here, on top of the increase from the previous round. And as I explained to you earlier, in this round, we're trying not to make an increase on top of another increase. So what's going to change a little? And we're going to start by making 2 single stitches, followed by the increase. And this increase will be placed on top of the single stitch that comes before the increase. So, Mari, but will the stitch or the round be left incomplete? No, it won't be left incomplete, because we will complete these 2 initial stitches when we close with 2 stitches. So we finish the sequence. 4 single stitches, 1 increase stitch. We can only do that starting from round number 6. And when the single stitches are an even number, so that we can divide them into 2 parts. So here, we open it up by passing the hook under the strand that we brought to the back. And we tighten the strand. We yarn over and make the stitch here. This will be a single stitch, and in the stitch next to it, we'll also make single stitches. In the next stitch, which is before the increase, we're going to make the increase.
1,
2. And look what's there. We have already made the increase on top of a single stitch. Now we continue the sequence. 4 single stitches. And we will make the increase in the stitch before the previous increase. Look, it's right here. We make the 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. The increase. 1, 2. We continue on this side. 4 single stitches. Increase stitch, 4 single stitches. Increase stitch. We've reached the last 3 stitches. Here we make the last increase. Here we work 1, 2, 3, 4. We check 1 here. We pass the hook through again. And 2. Here, in the last 2 stitches, we are going to complete the first 4 stitches. 1 and 2. Look, here we have 4 single stitches, 1 increase, 4 single stitches, 1 increase. With these 2 stitches, we've completed the sequence. We make this little loop taller, and we close the round. Look, it's the same one we've done in every round. We finish round number 6 with 48 stitches. We work a sequence of 4 single stitches, an increase, where we divide the first 4, 2 at the beginning and 2 at the end. We continue with the sequence until we complete the round. And in each round, we have been increasing by 8 stitches. Now we're going to start round number 7. This would be the last round of the base. And here we'll follow a sequence. 1 increase stitch, 5 single stitches. Increase stitch, 5 single stitches. We start the round by inserting the needle into the center of the stitch, where we brought the yarn to the back. Here we have the first stitch. We insert the needle again into the center of that stitch. Insert the needle into the stitch and lift it. And we make the second stitch. Finishing the first increase here, now we're going to work 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and in the next one, we do an increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We perform the increase. And we repeat the sequence. 5 regular stitches and 1 increase. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. We make the increase here. We continue working 5 regular stitches and 1 increase. We repeat the sequence on this side until we reach this last stitch. Let's make the last stitch. This will be a regular stitch. And with this, we complete the 5 regular stitches before the increase. We work 5 regular stitches here, 1 increase, 5 regular stitches, and then the increase here. See how we close the sequence correctly. If you start with an increase, you should finish with a regular stitch. And if you start with a regular stitch, you should finish with an increase, except for the rounds where you are going to divide the even number. Otherwise, all the rounds should close the corresponding sequence. Here we make the last stitch. We close the round, and we finish round number 7 with a total of 56 stitches. This will be the last round of the base. And if you want to make the base a little bigger, I'll leave the sequence for rounds 8, 9, and 10 in the video description. When you finish, it's normal for the base to end up a little twisted. Remember that we're making it by hand. So what we do here is stretch and arrange the stitches very well so that they settle into place. Look how it turns out. A 100% round base. All the stitches are well arranged in the same size. Now I'm going to give you the measurements. In length, it ended up with an 18 centimeter diameter. Let's close this space. We turn the piece. We take the short tail. And we're going to stretch it really well. Like this. Stretch as much as you can. I finished stretching as much as I could, and that's as far as I could close the circle. If you can close it completely, that's perfect. I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to hide this strand with the help of a yarn needle. We're going to pass the needle under the stitches until the entire strand is hidden. I finished hiding the strand under the stitches. When you finish at the bottom, you're going to put a drop of silicone or make a simple stitch with needle and thread to prevent the strand from coming out later. You cut off the excess and hide the tip. This is how we're going to hide all the following strands in this project. We already have our base ready. Before we continue, if you're wondering, Mari, can I work on this base with another type of material? Of course you can use it. You can use PIP cord, macrame thread, polyester thread. You can actually use whatever material you have available. What you need to keep in mind is that the measurements and size will vary depending on the thickness of the material you are going to work with. Now we're going to work on the body of the bag. We're going to continue making this with centered single crochet. But to separate the body from the base, we're going to do a first round with a regular single crochet. We take the base with the right side facing down. And we position ourselves here where the full chain is. We insert the hook in the center of the chain, taking the top strand. We'll also pick up the back bump on that part since we don't. Because we're going to take this little ridge to give more structure and firmness to this first round. We position ourselves here where we've made the join. And look, this loop has 2 strands. Here, we open it up a little bit. We find those 2 strands and look at them here. We're going to pass the hook between those 2 strands, from back to front, like this. We pull the hook like this. And we place the reserved loop onto the hook. We adjust here a little bit. Until this strand that remains at the bottom looks the same size as the other chains. So we adjust a little more. Yarn over. And pass it through both. Lift this strand up a little bit. Yarn over again, and here, close the stitch. Pass it through the center of the next chain. And in the back bump. Yarn over. Raise it up to the level of the loop on the hook. Yarn over again, and pull through both. Go through the center of the next chain. And under the back bump. Pull up a loop. And make a single crochet in the center of the next one and underneath the back bump. We make the last stitch here. We go through the center of the chain. And in the back bump, we yarn over. We pull it up to the level of the loop on the hook. We yarn over and close the stitch. We pull up this loop. And we pass the hook under the first chain, from back to front. Here we close the round. And we finish this first round of going up. Here we work a total of 56 stitches, the same number of stitches with which we finished the last round of the base. Notice that we didn't work any kind of increase. Now we're going to start the second round. Here we start with the center stitch. We insert the hook in the center of the stitch where we brought the yarn to the back. See, it's the same process we worked on at the base. But here, we're going to place the reserved loop on the hook. This is how we're going to start all the rounds from now on. We tighten this strand. We take a new strand here. We go through all of them. We give it a little bit of height. We take the strand and close the stitch. Look, it's a center stitch. We go through the center of the next chain. Also make sure it comes out between the two strands in the back. We yarn over. We add height. And we close the stitch. We go through the center of the next one. We yarn over. Bring it up level with the loop on the hook. Yarn over and complete the stitch. Here in the next one. Here we're going to organize the yarns well so that our stitches turn out really nice. We make the last stitch here. We go through the center. Yarn over. Pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through both loops. Bring this loop up and close the round. We finish the second round here with a center stitch. Look how nice and well organized the stitches look. If you notice, the process is the same as how we work the base. The only difference here is that we are not making any kind of increases. Now, let's start the third round. We pull up this loop. We yarn over and pull through. We adjust this first stitch. We arrange the yarn neatly. We pass it through the center of the next chain. Here in the center of the next one. This is how the stitches will look. I will continue working this way until I reach the desired height. I finished the rounds. I worked a total of 17 here. Let me show you how the stitches look. Look how beautiful the piece looks on the inside. See how spacious it looks. And look at the base. It's completely round and has a very good structure. I'm going to show you how to identify each round. We start at the first round up, the one above the yarn strand. And look, these are heart-shaped. Each little heart is a round. You're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Of height so far. We have 19.5 centimeters. If you want to combine the bag with 2 or more shades, I'm going to show you 2 techniques that you can use not only in this project, but also in other projects you want to make in multiple colors. So here we are with the strand that we brought to the back. Notice that we have made the join for this round. Let's start the next one. Insert the needle through the stitch's center where you move the strand to the back. Place the reserved loop onto the needle. Tighten it. Notice that we're doing the whole process as if we were going to start the next round with the same color. But here, you're going to take the other shade. Leave a little bit of yarn to hide under the stitches. Take the yarn. You pull through all of them. pull it up a little, then complete the stitch. You can cut this strand from the previous color and leave a little piece to hide on this side under the stitches. Here we're going to hide the leftover strand of this color. Next, pass the needle through the stitch center. And you keep working just as you were doing before. At the end of the round, you close it off, then start the next one, either in the same color or in the next color. For the second technique, what you're going to do is cut the yarn. I won't cut this one yet because we're going to work one last round. So here, I pull a little bit out, and let's suppose you've already cut it. We're going to close it by simulating a chain stitch. We've brought the yarn to the back. Here we cut. This is the yarn. We go through the center of the last stitch from back to front and grab the yarn. And we take it to the back. Now that we've closed the round here, simulating a chain, we hide this short tail under the stitches. And now we have the complete closure with this color. You're going to take the new yarn, also leaving a little piece to hide under the stitches. And here you can start the new round in the center of any stitch. You pass it through the center. You make the first stitch here. You hide the yarn and keep working. This is how the color change looks. See how you can't notice it on the back, and the yarn is perfectly hidden under the stitches. At the end of the round, you close and start with this same color, or you can switch to another shade. And the best part is that you can choose which of the two techniques works best for your process. We're going to do one last round, and we're going to use a slip stitch to give the edge of the bag a better finish. We're going to position ourselves here where we made the closure, and look, this little loop has two strands. I showed you this at the beginning of the round. Look at it here. We're going to insert the hook in the center, but this time from front to back. We place the reserved loop on the hook and tighten the stitch. We tighten the yarn very well until the bottom strand is the same size as the other chains. We yarn over. We pull it up a little here. We're going to insert the hook into the center of the chain, taking only the top loop. Here, we're not going to work into the bump, just the loop. Music, music. We pass the hook through. Music. We yarn over and pull it up. Music. We're going to set the height at the level of the little loop that's on the hook, and that's what we're going to do here. We're going to slip the first one into the one we already had. Music. Here we've made our first slip stitch. We go through the center of the next chain. We yarn over. We lift up and slip. In the center of the next one, we yarn over. We lift up and slip. We always need to raise the loop so the slip stitch doesn't end up too tight. Music. We reach the last stitch, go through the center of the chain, yarn over, raise it to the height of the loop on the hook, and here we slip. Now we cut the yarn. Music. We pull it out from this side, and we're going to make the join so it looks like a chain stitch. This is how you'll make the join when you're going to change colors in technique number 2. Pass the needle under the entire chain. Look here, this is the first one on this side. Music. Take it to the back, pass it through the center of the last one, also going under the strand. Music. Yarn over, music. And take it to the back, since here we have made a perfect join. Simulating a chain stitch, what you're going to do here is tighten well until the chain stitch looks the same size as the others. You're going to hide the leftover yarn under the stitches, just like we did before. This is how the round looks with the slip stitch. Look how pretty the edge looks. Here, I finished hiding the yarn under the stitches. Now, let's arrange the piece like this. Music. Here, we divide it in two, leaving the side with the join at the back. Remember that here on the edge, we have 56 stitches. We divide it into two parts, placing a marker here on the stitch at each corner. Music. From this marker to this one, we have 28 stitches and 28 stitches on this side. Let's count now. After the stitch with the marker, count 13 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We place a marker here. Music. We count 13 stitches on this side after this marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 music. We repeat the process on this side, counting 13 stitches on each side. We already have the markers in place. Now we are going to work on the cord. For this, we cut a 2-meter strand and we will divide it into two parts. We are going to take the part where it divides, cross our fingers here, and start twisting it like this. Music. Look, we are making a 2-strand braid. When you finish twisting, it should look something like this. On this side, you can make a little knot. Music. And you keep stretching. Music. This is how your cord will look. See how pretty the braid looks. We're going to thread it through the bag, right here in the last round, where the strand is under the round of slip stitches. Music. We go from back to front and grab the strand. Music. And now we go towards the back. Music. Here we're going to pass the needle. 2 chains before the marker, 1 and 2. And we take it towards the back. 1 and 2. Here, since it's on the back side, we're going to pass the needle 1 stitch before the marker. And 1 stitch after the marker. Here on this side, 2 stitches before. And we count 1 and 2 after. Here we come out below the marker. Let's close the bag. And at the tips, we're going to put the end caps. We take both strands. We pull like this. Let's take a thinner needle. We pass it through. We take the strand. And very carefully, we guide it through. Here we cut the strand, and we make a nice tight knot. We make another one. We cut off the excess. And this is how it looks. We do the same process on the other side. We're going to work the handle with a Turkish stitch. We make a slip knot here. We make 1 chain stitch. And here, in the stitch where the slip knot is, that's where we're going to insert the hook. Here. Insert the hook. Yarn over. We pass it through there and pull up a loop here. Look, we have 2 little loops on the hook. We yarn over and go through both. This is how it should be looking for you. Here we turn. And here, under this strand, we're going to insert the hook. Look, it's the strand that's under the stitch, right there. So what you're going to do is this. You're going to turn it like this. To the left. Next, insert the hook into this strand. Yarn over. Pull through that one. And we pull up a loop. We have 2 little loops left on the hook. Yarn over and pull through both. Here we turn the piece to the left again. And here. Now we're going to see 2 little bumps. We're going to pass the hook under the 2 little bumps. And there's one. Look here. And here's the other one. We go under both of them. We yarn over. We pull through the first 2. We chain up. We have 2. We yarn over and finish the stitch. On this side, look where the 2 strands are. We turn the piece to the left. We go under both of them. We yarn over. We pull through those 2. And here we chain up. We have 2 left. Yarn over and close it. Look, here we close the stitch. And on this side, the 2 strands have already formed. We turn again. We go under the 2 strands. Yarn over here. Chain up. We have 2. Yarn over and close the stitch. We turn again. This is how our handle is turning out. And this is the whole process we're going to do. We turn the piece. We pass under both strands. Yarn over. We pull through those 2 and chain up. Yarn over and close it. I finished the length of the handle. Here we can see the stitches better. Look how beautiful this braid looks. Here you can make it as long as you want. Remember that we are going to combine the crocheted handle with a chain. It is 39 centimeters long. It is 2.5 centimeters wide. Now we are going to make the join. We take it out. We pass the needle under the first ridge. We take the yarn. And we take it to the back. With the help of a thinner needle, we pass it through these spaces here. We pass it over to this side. Here at the bottom part of the stitch, we are going to place a dab of silicone glue. Or we can make a simple stitch with needle and thread so the yarn doesn't come loose. It's important that you do this step because this is the handle. It's the part that will carry the weight of the bag. So if you don't secure this stitch or this yarn very well, it could end up coming undone later on. So here you finish hiding it right under the stitches. After you finish the sewing process, you cut off the excess here. It's ready. This is how it should look. You're going to repeat the same process on this side. We take the smaller rings, and we're going to place them here on the tips. You can pass it through this space here, right here, where you can see. We pass the ring through here. Now we're going to put on the big rings. We're going to place these on the bag. Our bag is ready. Look here where we have the strand. Underneath where the stitches are centered, we're going to pass it through these 2 in the center. Here on these 2 on this side. There! This is how the bag looks with the long handle. And this is how the bag looks with the short handle. You can also use the handle with a shorter chain. We have finished the whole process of making the bag. This would be the final result. Look how beautiful it is. It's a bucket bag with an excellent high-quality finish. It ended up being 20.5 centimeters. The bag without the hardware ended up weighing 500 grams. That's the exact amount of material we used for this project. We've now reached the end of the class. I hope you enjoyed the whole process and that you put it into practice. If that's the case, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment as a sign of appreciation. See you in the next class. God bless you. Bye.